Graham gave me a very kind of specific title, so I'm trying to kind of work to it, which is to do with the 2-month review and how to then prevent MDR. So if I may, because I know most of you probably know TB inside out, but just to basically go through the kind of mechanistic stuff with MDR, then to give the template for why we do particular things at the 2-month visit, okay? So can I just check in terms of audience, you're happy, it's going to be fairly clinical, Graham? Okay.
Which one would it be?
Go by date. Nearly there.
2-month appointment, isn't it?
Why am I registrars here, Graham?
It's the whole of North London.
Oh, right, okay. I was just about to bleep one of these people saying...
The one, doctor?
From Northwest.
Is that the one?
Thank you, yeah.
What I should have done is asked you to specify which region you're from on the register. Anyway, we'll come to that. Thanks.
Okay, that's fine. I won't call them wasted then. Right, so very specific. So the first slide to show you is our grandfather of TV in this country, Sir John Crofton, who about 5 years ago. The reason for showing this slide is everything we discussed today, in a way, is not new, as is nothing in TV, obviously. And you remember that his mantra was that the greatest disasters we screw up the TB medication, to the point that someone becomes multi-drug resistant. And anyway, I love the language in it, in fact. But that's what we're going to talk about today, is how do we stop ourselves heading down this road inadvertently. So you all remember this diagram, which is that effectively, because of the cavity having several million organisms, there is a spontaneous mutation rate, okay? So basically, even sitting in that cavity now, in Graham's patient on the ward, well, not on the ward, as he says, that person has 1 or 2 organisms that are already intrinsically isoniazid resistant, for instance. And so by day 1, we have a drug-resistant organism. You then have a differential in terms of the mutation rates. Now, these figures will vary a little bit, and I suggest you read the European Union kind of guidance on it. It's a very nice chapter that you can read about the background mutation rate. So you just need to have this idea sitting firmly in your mind, and that is the reason, obviously, we like multi-drug regimes rather than single-drug regimes. So we're going to just talk you through what may happen potentially. Is there a laser on this? Yeah. Right. Okay. So here you have, let's say, big, large cavities in your individual in front of you. They've got an isoniazid mutation, pyrazinamide mutation, rifampicin mutation. I decide I'm going to give them my standard triple therapy. I can put ethambutol in. This is an old American slide. And here is someone I either inadvertently just give them isoniazid alone because I think I've got latent TB, or I don't know what I'm doing, okay? I give them a single drug. And so the bug that survives is what? Bug that survives is the one with the mutation. Okay, so that's easy. And then I come along, he's still there, he's still unwell, and Dr. Kong goes, well, let's just add a second drug here. It's getting quite serious. So I, for instance, then add in my rifampicin, but at that point, there's already another spontaneous mutation occurring, which is the rifampicin one that's come from the mutant with the isoniazid. So then you have, basically, your MDR sequential introduction of medication is basically a very bad idea. And you should not try this in your TB clinic soon. In fact, this is probably the commoner way we get to this, and this part of London knows very well about the isoniazid resistance outbreak. And you will know that a number of those patients went on to develop MDR. Around the final figure, Greg, was it about 6 or 8 of them?
It was 7 in the Royal Free Area, that's one elsewhere.
Right, so basically, what that outbreak, and I'll show you a slide on it, demonstrated was that if you don't do it properly, particularly with isoniazid resistance, you'll end up with an MDR problem on your hands. So let's say we empirically treat one for TB. Now, what do we do at dural phase? Post-intensive phase, all of us grab just the refiner tablets, okay? Because we have an isoniazid. If you manage to have a patient there with isoniazid resistance in the baseline, if you didn't take that treatment properly, you still have a few of these ones coming through. And then basically you're left with single agent rifampicin, and again, that may select rifampicin-resistant organisms, and again, amplification to MDR. The other thing to also think about is, certainly in terms of your regimes, there are some data indicating if you do intermittent therapy, so 3 times per week DOT, the resistant person probably gives you a slightly higher risk of developing drug resistance. So again, think again before that cavitating person with isoniazid resistance, maybe the alcoholic, think you want to give them DOT, have a little think about whether you want to do that once a day rather than hop straight to your 3 times per week, because that's easier to figure out each one. Right, so what about spontaneous multi-drug resistance? It's down to probabilities. You will all have done your maths more recently than me. You will remember it's an addition rather than multiplication of risk. So spontaneous occurrence MDR are relatively rare. Normally, it's basically that we are creating these organisms under our regimes of drug pressure. So, what are the things that basically drive MDR currently? Low dosing. Again, if you have renal physicians anywhere in your area, you will find they quite like this. Okay, so the subtherapeutic isoniazid chemoprophylaxis. Low dosing, you've got the wrong weight, you can't count. 2 is you bought your drugs from, and this is a big issue from patients who come from abroad. You know, they've been taking treatment for 3 or 4 months, give you their tablets, and as you know, there are problems with storage in addition to quality. So that there may be an issue there. Do not trust anything from abroad, generally speaking. I generally take the approach when I start from scratch and resample at that point if I can, unless obviously there's nothing to sample. Obviously, poor adherence is effectively you kind of giving subtherapeutic doses or giving it enough time for the resistant organism to come through. Functional monotherapy is really quite important. This is the one we can get wrong quite easily today, which is you assume because someone's not tolerant and you're not quite covering it, everything's going to be fine. Again, just remember, resistance can just be as bad by you giving the wrong regime that you're reintroducing, or not fully reintroducing. And then obviously, if you haven't got a bug and things are going badly wrong, you need to really sit back and recalibrate, because at this point, ask yourself, were you dealing with an organism that was resistant in the first place? And this is an old, again, mantra in TB land, and that relates to John Crofton's discussion, which is do not add a single drug to a failing regime. Okay, now, again, you need to just distinguish failing from something when you are, for instance, having to do a drug regime change for good reasons, right? So it's actually failing, don't add 1. At least add 2, and number 2, resample, if at all possible, resample. This obviously, again, is intuitive, and if you look at the countries where we are now importing MDR from, they will be countries who have had some health system, some drugs, but not quite enough finance or manpower to finish the job properly. And so this relates to the adherence issue. And these are data from East London, from Veronica White's study, which is now probably slightly underpricing MDR. £50,000 per case in the UK, non-MDR, dirt cheap. So currently, where are they coming from? And so we talked about Eastern Europe a few minutes ago. So there's Central Europe, which, if you're Polish, it's correct as opposed to Eastern Europe. Eastern Europe, obviously, Latvia, etc. Western Europe ourselves. So you'll see here the prevalence of isoniazid resistance alone, and this is what Graham was alluding to, is 35% isoniazid resistance straight on. Okay, so you're starting to think about treating people empirically, already starting with a background that's quite significant. Secondly, resistance to any first-line drug. Again, Eastern Europe comes up tops in the league. Southeast Asia, obviously, as well. And then MDR, so you will see here Eastern Europe, 24%, so a quarter at the door as you diagnose it will be that. So it should make you at least reach for your PCR machine or suddenly be thinking about, am I just going to give this person systemic or triple therapy? I haven't got sensitivities in front. This is a slightly old slide, but again, the reason I'm showing this is the prevalence of the resistance pattern depends on where you work. And again, it won't surprise you. London heads the pack in terms of about 9.4 is about 10%. So even if we don't think about the country they're coming from, the fact that we work in London means we should already have radar up in terms of thinking about the possibility that the 1 in 10 chance to take everyone home, and that's obviously probably not the right way of thinking about it, but across the board, okay, you think to yourself, 1 in 10 possibly might be resistant at the outset. Again, this matters when we're empirically treating people. When they come to that 2-month approach, how we should think about it. So MDR in London has the repository. Here's the North London isoniazid resistance outbreak, and depending on where you work in London, certainly the kind of north-central circuit, so a place like North Middlesex, Wisconsin. I saw a little bit, but not as many, unless they all went to the same clubs or prisons. Okay, so this is the thing I was alluding to, which is that this was a slightly different outbreak. It wasn't your classic TB epidemiology picture. What's happening here? Well, clearly there was some transmission in a different cohort, and secondly, they were quite difficult to treat. Okay, so look at that completion rate. What's it? Currently, it's 80 plus. We're nearly at 85% point. We're not quite there in the UK. Only 66% completed. And 9 cases turned MDR. Okay. So what that's telling you is we kind of just not going to